They said she was just a rookie with a jump shot, but tonight, Caitlin Clark became the Fever's field general. While the refs tried, once again, to tilt the floor, Clark grabbed a clipboard and turned chaos into strategy, coaching Indiana from the sideline as her Mystics bullies closed in. 1 minute the Fever were spiraling, the next they were burying back-to-back threes and sending the crowd into a frenzy. This game wasn't just basketball, it was a chess match played at 94 feet. Sonia Citron unleashed her full arsenal. Stephanie White shuffled the deck, and somewhere in the madness, Lexie Hull morphed into a one-woman wrecking crew, ripping the script the Mystics thought they'd written. By the final buzzer, Indiana's biggest weapon wasn't even on the court. It was the roar Clark sparked from the bench. Stick around, because this breakdown exposes every twist, every meltdown, and the unlikely hero who saved the Fever's Commissioner's Cup dream. Opening storm cue, the tip-off and the script goes sideways fast. The refs swallow the whistle on 2 straight Mystics hacks, and Sydney Colson answers by airmailing a chest-high pass into the 8th row. Indiana's set play dissolves, but rookie Sonia Citron is already seeing double teams, sometimes triple, so she rips down the rebound, rockets the length of the floor, and finishes through contact. 4-0 Mystics. Stephanie White hollers, "Trap her!" and the Fever swarm. First defender, second, even a late rotating third. Citron still threads a no-look dime to the corner, proving she's as much quarterback as scorer. Meanwhile, Aaliyah Boston decides to impose her will, snatching a loose ball, muscling through 2 bodies for Indiana's first bucket, then sprinting back to swat a layup clean off the glass. Kelsey Mitchell grabs the moment, knifes coast to coast, and splashes a pull-up mid-range. Suddenly it's Fever by 4, and Gainbridge Fieldhouse is electric again, but warning lights flash. Every positive surge is clipped by another Colson turnover or a blown box out. Momentum teeters, the refs nudge, and you can feel that notorious Fever fourth-quarter curse lurking in the shadows, just waiting for a crack in the armor. Bench mob ignites. Sydney Colson finally hits the pine, and boom, the gears click. Ari McDonald checks in, instantly cranks the pace to turbo, and threads a bounce-pass dart that frees Papa Lexie Hull for an and-one lay-in. Hull has been sprinting off stagger screens all night, but now she's finishing too. Corner triple, baseline cut, foul line floater, 8 straight Fever points in 90 seconds. The Mystics look stunned. Indiana strings together 10 unanswered, fueled by crisp one more passing and Boston's moving brick wall screen. Stephanie White is practically doing fist pumps at midcourt. Caitlin Clark, clipboard in hand, is barking out coverages like a grad assistant and chest-bumping teammates at every timeout. On the other side, Sonia Citron is still magic. She blocks Hull in transition, then beats 3 red jerseys down the floor for a scoop, but Washington's supporting cast clanks everything. By the horn, the stat sheet screams lopsided. Fever 7 for 11 from deep, Mystics 0 for 7. Hull alone has more threes, 3, than Washington has field goals since Colson sat. Halftime storylines: 1. Pace flip. McDonald's speed forced the Mystics bigs into late rotations and free throw hacks. 2. Hull mania. 13 points, non-stop off-ball chaos, and elite point-of-attack defense on Citron. 3. Clark the coach. Her sideline play calls, staggered pin downs into flare rescreen, produced 4 of Indiana's 7 threes. 4. Warning light. Citron still flirting with a triple-double, 8 to 5-4, and living at the rim anytime Indiana's rotations lag. The question heading into the third: can the Fever keep the foot on the gas once Colson re-enters, or will the turnover gremlins creep back and reopen the door for a Mystic comeback? Citron's counterpunch halftime adjustments? Washington's is simple: unleash Sonia Citron. The rookie comes out like she's late for a flight, splits a hedge, Euro steps Boston, and kisses glass for 2. Next trip, she drags a double-team baseline, whips a cross-court laser to the weak side shooter, and finally the Mystics bury their first 3 of the night. Lid trimmed to 5 in 90 seconds. Stephanie White sticks with the hot lineup: McDonald, Hull, Mitchell, but Sydney Colson wanders back in and the tempo stall. 2 possessions, 2 head-scratching turnovers, and Citron turns both into runway layups. Momentum officially hijacked, 9-0. Mystics burst, Fever down 1. Enter Kelsey Mitchell. She refuses to let another collapse script itself. Off a Boston pin down, she curls into a 28-foot dagger, then baits Natasha Cloud into a hopeless reach and converts 2 free. The building exhales, but Citron is relentless, snatching her 8 boards, sprinting coast to coast, getting hammered, still finishing +1. She's sitting on 23-9-6, and the Fever's 10-point cushion is now a yo-yo. Clark senses the wobble from the bench and calls an impromptu huddle. You can read her lips. Space and spray, no hero ball. Next possession, the message sticks. 5 passes, inside-out kick, Hull corner 3, cash. McDonald swipes the inbound, flips it back to Hull for a baseline reverse, and Gainbridge detonate. The answer run is 8-0 Indiana, good for a 10-point edge as the horn sounds. Scoreboard after 3, Fever 72, Mystics 62. But every Fever fan in the house remembers last week's blown lead. The fourth quarter has been their house of horrors all season, and Sonia Citron just tightened her sneakers. One stanza left to decide if Indiana finally learned how to close, or if the ghosts are about to break the door down again. Fourth quarter, whiplash. The fourth opens exactly the way every Fever fan feared. Sonia Citron storms out of the huddle like a one-woman fast break. First trip, Hesse, blow by and 1. Next, pump fake 3, 2 dribbles, pocket pass for a lay-in. Stephanie White's 10-point cushion vanishes in 74 seconds. Score, 72-69. Gainbridge goes from party mode to pin drop. Sydney Colson re-enters and immediately immediately telegraphs a cross-court pass. Pick six, Mystics within one. The sideline mic catches Clark barking, "Timeout," before White can even motion. Clipboard slam. Message, "Stop bleeding now or live this nightmare again." Out of the break, Indiana tries a horn set. Busted. Boston forces, misses. Citron snags rebound number 10, pushes end to end, and ties it up. Fever have surrendered a 10-0 run and haven't made a field goal in nearly 4 minutes. Cue Kelsey Mitchell. She rejects a screen, snakes middle, and nails a leaning 12-footer to finally halt the freefall. Mystics answer with a corner three, lead gone again. Crowd on edge, refs swallowing whistles, Citron eyeing a triple-double, and the commissioner's cup dream dangling by a thread. Stephanie gambles, benches Coulson, rolls with the McDonald-Hull backcourt that worked in the first half. One possession later, you see why. McDonald's dribble drive bends the defense. Skip pass finds Lexie Hull alone on the wing. Blast. Fever back up too, but momentum still feels like nitroglycerin. One wrong jostle and it makes Lexie Hull's takeover and the finish. Final 4 min. The game tilts on a single sequence. With 3:58 left, Sonia Citron drives yet again, but Aaliyah Boston meets her chest to chest, forcing a wild left-hand banker that rims out. Boston outlets to Ari McDonald, who hits a hard 45-degree cut from, you guessed it, Lexie Hull. She jabs middle, freezes the help, then Euro steps the secondary defender for a silky finger roll. Fever by 3, crowd back to life. Washington doubles Boston the next trip, leaving Hull one-on-one on the weak side. Pump fake, 2 dribbles, up and under, bucket. Mystics call timeout, but Hull is officially in the zone.
If you're enjoying this breakdown and want more raw, unfiltered WNBA moments, consider subscribing to the channel.
7 straight Fever point, 22 on the night, plus the assignment of shadowing Citron full court. Out of the break, Citron hunts a switch, dishes to the corner. Clang. Hull rebounds, sprints, and this time dishes. Skip to Kelsey Mitchell for a feet-set triple. 11-2 run, led back to 8 with 2:05 remaining. Washington's final punch comes from a quick flare screen 3, cut to 5, and a Citron steal that trims it to 3 with 1:22 left. Stephanie White refuses to panic. She draws up a stagger flare for Mitchell, but the Mystics overplay. Clark, still acting assistant, yells, "Reverse!" Boston hands back to Hull on the slip. Lexie drives, decelerates, and kisses it high off glass over 2 collapsing defenders. Back to 5, turn 48 on the clock. Citron's legs finally show fatigue. She short arms a pull-up. Boston clears, Mystics foul. Mitchell ices 2 free throws, and that's the dagger. Final horn, Indiana Fever 88, Washington Mystics 81. Post-game flashpoints, Hull's breakout, career best, 24-5-3, 4 of 6 from deep, plus 18 in 32 minutes. Her fourth quarter shot diet, drive, 3, drive, snap the Fever's collapse curse. Citron's near triple-double, 27-10-7, but 2 of 9 in final 5 minutes, once Hull took primary assignment, and Boston shaded hard help. 3-point math, Fever, 11 for 24 versus Mystics, 3 for 16. That 24-point swing erased Washington's 16-point edge in points in the paint. Clark, the sideline QB, no playing minutes, yet called 2 ATOs that produced 5 points, and the decisive Hull lay-in. Coulson conundrum, Indiana was 12 in her 13 minutes, plus 19 without her. White hinted post-game that the rotation will evolve. As confetti cannons pop, Clark hugs Hull and mouths toward a courtside camera. "Angel, you're next." The message is clear. If the Fever can close without their superstar, imagine the noise when she's back on the floor. Fallout film room, and what's next with the Mystics in the rear view, the Fever board the plane with something they haven't felt in weeks, proof they can finish. In Monday's film session, Clark and White will drill 3 things. Small ball success. The Hull McDonald-Mitchell trio scored 1.46 points per possession in crunch time. Expect more 3-guard lineups to juice tempo and spacing. Late game traps. Washington's 10-yo burst all came when Coulson stayed high and help never arrived. The adjustment, ice every Citron side PNR and rotate Boston early. Second side actions for Boston. She was doubled on 61% of her touches, reversing quickly to the weak side shooter, often Hull, equals 4 uncontested buckets. Commissioner's Cup Math Indiana is now 3-1 in cup play. Win Friday versus Chicago and they clinch Group A. Lose and tiebreakers get messy. Translation, Clark's likely back in uniform, but even if minutes are limited, the Fever must replicate tonight's ball movement. Message to fans. If this squad can grind out an 88-81 win with Clark in street clothes, imagine the ceiling once number 22 laces him up again. Friday's showdown with Angel Reese in the sky isn't just another game. It's a statement opportunity, so buckle up, Fever Nation, because the next chapter drops in 3 days, and the target on Indiana's back just got a lot bigger. Friday versus Chicago, and they clinch Group A. Lose, and tiebreakers get messy. Translation, Clark's likely back in uniform, but even if minutes are limited, the Fever must replicate tonight's ball movement. Message to fans. If this squad can grind out an 88-81 win with Clark in street clothes, imagine the ceiling once number 22 laces him up again. Friday's showdown with Angel Reese in the sky isn't just another game. It's a statement opportunity, so buckle up, Fever Nation, because the next chapter drops in 3 days, and the target on Indiana's back just got a lot bigger. Friday versus Chicago, and they clinch Group A. Lose, and tiebreakers get messy. Translation, Clark's likely back in uniform, but even if minutes are limited, the Fever must replicate tonight's ball movement. Message to fans. If this squad squad can grind out an 88-81 win with Clark in street clothes, imagine the ceiling once number 22 laces him up again. Friday's showdown with Angel Reese in the sky isn't just another game. It's a statement opportunity, so buckle up, Fever Nation, because the next chapter drops in 3 days, and the target on Indiana's back just got a lot bigger.